Welcome back. In this video, I'm taking my 2025 Yamaha YZ300FX down to Mxworcz in Milton, Florida to get some dyno tuning and testing done. If you missed my recent videos, I've just installed the Athena 304cc big bore kit on my 2025 Yamaha YZ250FX. This kit has recently become available with the Get Boost module that works with the stock ECU to provide the additional fuel needed. I'll include a link to my installation video in the description. I'm at Mxworcz in Milton, Florida with my friend Justin Terry. Justin's getting my bike set up for the dyno. He's installing a rear wheel with a street tread pattern tire because obviously the knobby wouldn't work well on the dyno drum. Now Justin is accessing the wires to the coil so he can hook up a tachometer there. The last step in setting it up for the dyno is to get an O2 sensor on the bike. Justin has a custom header pipe for the Yamahas for this purpose. We installed the header pipe and now he's screwing in the O2 sensor. He spent a few minutes getting everything calibrated for the dyno and we're almost ready to start some runs. In my first ride video, I talked about some of my issues with idle settings and my suspicion that the bike is running lean at idle. Justin immediately confirmed that here with the lambda reading at idle.
And like, see, I can already tell it's lean at idle.
Yeah.
It should be idling at like minimum of 0.9 lambda.
Now I'm going to be explaining things in this video as best I understand them based on what Justin told me, but I'm no expert with this, so forgive me if I misstate anything or use incorrect terms. With that said, Justin is looking at this number on the computer referred to as lambda. This indicates the air-fuel ratio, or how lean or how rich the bike is running. The higher the lambda number, the leaner the mixture, and the lower the lambda number, the richer the mixture. Lambda 1.0 would represent an air-fuel mixture of 14.7 to 1 with pump gas. And by the way, I'm running 93 octane pump gas. Justin said around 0.9 lambda is best for idle, and you can see this is running well above 1, which is lean. I've already got it running on a map with plus 10 at idle, so we can't add more fuel to idle at this point. I'll talk a little more about that later in the video. We're starting off with a run at 25% throttle, mainly to look at the lambda reading across the RPM range. We're not looking at power output yet, we're only looking at where the bike's rich or where the bike is lean. This chart shows the lambda reading across the RPM range starting at 5,000 RPM on the left up to 13,500 on the right. The higher the reading, the leaner it is, the lower the reading, the richer it is. Ideally, you want this line relatively flat.
It gets rich in that area, you know, quarter throttle at 11,000 RPM, but you're probably not going to be in that situation, right. You know what I mean, to even know that it's. I was just checking to see if it was lean anywhere at quarter throttle, and it's really not. I mean, the leanest it gets, it's actually pretty rich.
So right now it's just lean at idle.
Yeah.
This is run number 2 at 50% throttle. Again, we're really primarily looking at air fuel on this one.
Does that get rich right there? Is that what that means?
Rich all in there.
Yeah. So very rich, between 8,000 and 11,000. Extremely rich.
So even way up there, it's still rich, you know, on the richer side.
With each run, we're adjusting the fuel parameters in that throttle position and RPM zone in the GYTR app. I'll share a screenshot of the final map we landed on near the end of the video. This is another 50% throttle run. The dyno is spooling down in the background, so I'll apologize for that background noise in some of these video clips.
Here, it leaned it out. I took 2% out, and it basically leaned it out 3%. So
yeah,
that's good right there. I mean, it's still really rich around in those areas though.
We did a total of 4 runs at 50% throttle to fine-tune air-fuel mixture.
So we want it like at 8.6, somewhere around there.
8.6. 8.8 on pump gas is like really, really safe, and where they make good power and stuff like that. So like right there when you roll the throttle on, it's always going to be lean because the crack of the throttle, then it has to, you know, the injector has to turn on or whatever, and the O2 sensor sees it. So you really don't have to worry about it being lean right there when you turn the throttle. You also don't really ride it down there.
Right.
But I don't know if I'll be able to get that out of it, you know, because of not having that much.
Right.
There's not that much definition in the mapping to be able to get the pinpoint individual cells.
Right.
You know, that's the good thing about having an ECU or being able to flash.
Yeah.
You know,
So getting a larger injector would make that work.
yeah, right there. So really, they need to do some mapping. They need to do some work on their fuel curve.
Justin is referring to the Get Boost module mapping and the fact that it needs to be dialed in a little better. It's not fully customizable the way a custom ECU would be. I asked that question about a larger injector because we were talking off camera about potentially getting a larger injector to compensate for the lean idle. But after seeing the other areas where it's rich, a larger injector is not an option because we wouldn't be able to correct it enough in that 5,000 to 8,000 RPM range.
There was the only place that I would probably try leaning it out if I had control over it.
Yeah.
On the first full throttle run, the bike made 45.99 horsepower at 10,568 RPM and 26.79 pound-feet of torque at 8,026 RPM. I'll show the horsepower torque chart in just a minute. We're continuing to refine the fuel settings.
They got all that stuff dialed in pretty good.
Yeah. On the second full throttle run, the bike made 46.22 horsepower at 10,791 RPM and 26.79 pound-feet of torque at 7,991 RPM.
So the stock bike made 43 and your bike makes 46, so 3 horsepower more at peak. And then, you know, down here is where you feel all that huge improvement.
Yeah, that's where I want it. Yeah.
It looks like that's a big swing, but you know, it's from there to there is less than 1/10 of a point of lambda, so it's not very much.
This is the horsepower and torque chart. The bike made 46.23 horsepower at 10,739 and 26.8 pound-feet of torque at 7,898. Having the peak torque at roughly 8,000 and the very flat torque curve is exactly what I want for woods riding. This is my bike compared to a stock 2026 YZ250F, which is the closest thing Justin had for a stock comparison. My bike is the yellow line and the stock YZ250F is the white line. Peak horsepower difference is about 2.9 horsepower, but the biggest difference is the significant increase in horsepower and torque down low between 5 and 9,000 RPM. That's the huge acceleration difference I was feeling in my first ride video in 3rd and 4th gear acceleration. This is the Lambda chart showing air-fuel ratio from 5,000 RPM up to 13,500. It's still a little rich at 10,000 to 11,000, but that was as close as we could get it. This is where we ended up with the mapping. Keep in mind this is a very specific use case for this map. We're trying to dial in performance, but we're also trying to correct some issues with the get boost fuel parameters. Earlier in the video you saw that Lambda at idle was between 1.1 and 1.2, which is very lean. That's why we have the plus 10 fuel at throttle position 0 and 2,000 RPM. This is unchanged from where I had it set before, and it still needs more fuel there to make the idle stable. The bike does idle, and Justin said it won't do any damage because it's not under load and has adequate fuel everywhere else, but the idle is still somewhat unstable and it has a tendency to flame out randomly. At this point I'm down to a couple of options to get the idle completely dialed in. One option is I could completely remove the get boost and buy a custom ECU that can be tuned for proper fuel delivery at every throttle position and RPM. The downside to that is I would lose my GYTR app functionality, and the ECU is about $1,000, so I really don't want to have to go that route. My second option is possibly reflashing the stock ECU to add fuel at idle. Justin's in the process of getting the software and tools needed to flash stock Yamaha ECUs. When he gets that worked out, he could flash my stock ECU. That would be much more economical, and I could keep the GYTR app functionality. This is my preferred option, but we don't have an exact timeline on that right now. Justin is an Athena dealer, so the third option is he's going to reach out to his contact at Athena to explain the idle issues we're seeing with the get boost and see if they offer any solutions from their end. For now, I'm going to ride it and wait for option 2 or 3. I've got one more dyno run to show you. This is the last dyno run we did. Justin was talking to me off camera about how restricted the airbox covers are on these bikes, so we did a final run with the airbox cover removed. The bike made 47.77 horsepower at 10,490 and 27.42 pound-feet of torque at 7791. So it gained another 1.54 horsepower and 0.62 pound-feet of torque. On this chart, the yellow line is the airbox cover on and the white line is the airbox cover off. It really doesn't change the torque curve or the usable power very much. The horsepower difference is right in that 10,000 RPM range, but it shows that maybe drilling some holes in the rear part of that cover could make a small difference. For those of you who stuck around to the end of the video, here's a random tip for you. Whenever you create a custom map in the GYTR app, the traction control defaults to the hard pack high setting. If that's where you want it, fine, but if not, be sure to readjust it. I've always disliked Yamaha traction control. It makes the bike feel like it has no low-end power. That's just a personal preference, but many people don't realize it's defaulting to that setting with any custom map you create. Huge thanks to Mxworcz and Justin Terry for helping me dial in the bike. Justin was very accommodating, allowing me to set up cameras and ask 100 questions while he was trying to work. I highly recommend Mxworcz. They're located in Milton, Florida. That's in Northwest Florida. Justin does all kinds of bike work, specializing in engine builds and performance mods. As I mentioned in previous videos, Justin got this 304cc kit for me, and he can get just about anything you need. I've included a list of Amazon items that I take with me to every race in the video description and in the comments. When you use my Amazon links, I may earn a small commission on eligible purchases. It doesn't cost you any extra, but it helps support the channel. Thanks for considering that. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. That really helps me out. Thanks for watching.